Hello guys, welcome to tutorial question number 2 now. So we're gonna do, in this question we have WACC and beta and gearings together. So in the last tutorial question number 1 we did only WACC, and now we're gonna do WACC and beta and gearing. So I hope you still remember what we did in the last class, topic number 13, which is your beta and gearing. So let's start. Let's go through the question now. Um, so we have a few required here. uh, A and B is going to be your calculation, C and D is your theory. So look at the A, calculate the current weighted average cost of capital of Fansco. B, calculate the cost of equity which could be used in appraising the new project. So they have a new project in that question. C, explain the difference between systematic and unsystematic risk in relation to portfolio theory and the capital as a pricing model. Uh, I hope you guys still remember what is systematic and unsystematic risk. I've already done this explanation in topic number 10, which we uh, do the CAPM, capital as a pricing model calculation. D, discuss the difference between weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form capital market efficiency, which is your EMH, and discuss the significance of the efficient market hypothesis for the financial manager, EMH. So if you guys still remember, uh, I will discuss this EMH when we did the diploma syllabus in your topic number 3 uh, in FM book. So EMH, but here we have to discuss in detail. So the one we look at later. So let's go through the question now. The equity beta of Fansco is 0.9. So let's highlight that part. So we have the equity beta of Fansco 0.9. The company issue 10 million ordinary shares. So in these questions, he gave you ordinary shares. It's not a value, it's number of shares. Remember, okay, this is your number of shares. The market value of each ordinary share is 7.5. So that's your market price, in other words. Okay. Don't get confused with the market value. This is not total, this is price, market price. Okay, that's your market price. The company is also financed by 7% bonds with a nominal value, which is your par value, 100 per bond. So as you know guys, the par value for bond and loan stocks, debt is always 100, which will be redeemed. So it's going to be redeemable 7 years time. So our calculation is going to be 7 years, and it's going to be redeemed at par value of 100. The bonds have total nominal value of 14 million. So they already gave you the nominal value, means the book value. Remember, this is your book value. Interest on the bonds has just been paid, and the current market value of each bond is $104.14. So that is your market price for the bond. Okay, now Fansco plans to invest in a project. So they're going to invest in a project which is different to its existing. Look at that, different. The existing business operation. Okay, so that's a very important keyword over there. And as identify a company in the same business area as the project. So this is their new investment. They're going to invest in Hexco. The equity beta of Hexco is, so let me highlight in a different color so that we can make a difference here. Okay, Hexco is 1.2 equity beta. and the company has an equity market value. Equity market value. So they already gave a market value there in total, and the market value of debt is 12 million in total. Okay, so that is the information regarding Expo. So this is regarding Exco. This is regarding Fansco. Okay, information regarding Fansco and Exco. Look at the last paragraph. The risk-free rate of return is 4%. So it's going to be 4%. Average return on the stock market 11%. So this is your RF, and this is return on the market is always your RM. It's not the risk premium. Don't get confused. And both companies, look at that. Both companies' tax rate is going to be 20%. Good. Both are going to be the same tax rate. Okay, so we're going to calculate the WACC, current WACC, but remember we're going to calculate for Fansco only. Okay, the WACC is going to be only for Fansco, so we're only going to concentrate for Fansco, the first paragraph, and of course the last paragraph. Okay, let's start. So we have to do a few workings before we get into the WACC calculation. The first one is going to be, as usual, we start with cost of equity, KE. Now in this question, definitely there is no dividend given, so we're going to use what? CAPM formula, KE RF plus RM plus RF times with beta equity. So it's going to be 4% plus, if you look at it, your RM is 11% minus 4% beta equity. Now remember, you are doing for Fansco. This is your beta equity 0.9. How much is going to be? Now you should get 10.3. So that's the cost of equity. Next, cost of debt. KD. So this is going to be, remember, this is going to be redeemable. So we have to use IR to find the cost of debt, the KD. So we start with the formula first. I1 minus tax or PO1 minus F. So let's find the interest now. 7%. Look at that, 7% bond times with always, sorry, we're used to the pounds. This question is using dollar, don't forget. $100, the par value is always 100. It can be 100 ringgit, 100 pounds, or whatever 100, but it's always 100. And we get $7. And what is going to be the post-tax interest? $7 times 1 minus the tax. That will give you the post-tax interest, which is 5.6. Check. Now let's calculate. There's no issue cost in this question, so we don't need to worry about the issue cost. We're going to take 5.6, and your market value, sorry, the market price is this 107.14 for your bond. So we're going to divide that. So we'll get 5.23%. Next, let's calculate the annualized profit or loss. Now, the redemption value is going to be 100 minus your market price is going to be 107.14, and it's going to be a loss. Remember, it's going to be a loss. Okay, it's going to be a loss because your redemption value is lesser than the market price. So loss by 7.14, and we're going to take that 7.14 divided with 7 years, and how much for 1 year. Now we're going to get 1.02, and we're going to divide it the par value and times 100. You will get 1.02%. So the best put it here. Discount factor for us to start the NPV calculation for the IRR will be we're going to take 5.23. Don't forget, a lot of students will do these mistakes. They don't aware of this loss. Most of the times they're going to put plus here so that you will get a wrong answer. End of the day, you're not able to calculate the KD. Okay, so this is supposed to be minus because we have a loss here. Minus 1.02%. How much you get? That should give you 4.21%, and our discount factor will be 4%. Here, net cash flow, discount factor 4%, present value, discount factor, present value. Now 0, 1 to 7. Now remember, the bond is for 7 years. 5.6. Redemption is 100. Now use the NVT factor. I'm not going to do that calculation here like what I did for the previous question. I already showed you many times in the class and in the tutorial question. Number 1, I already show you how to calculate. Again, I already recall back how to use the NVT factor and so on. So I'm not going to show here. I'm straight going into the answer over here. So that will give you 6.002 and 0.760, and then in times that will give you 33.6176. So that will give you 2.47. Positive answer. Now if you get a positive answer, we need to find a negative answer for our IRR. So therefore you increase by 1%. Now so many times I already recall this part. If you get a positive, you plus 1 to get a negative answer in your discount factor. If you get a negative on the first calculation, you minus 1 in your discount factor to get a positive answer. Now here you should be able to get 5786, and then over here it should be 0.711. That will give you 32.4, 71.10, and that will give you a negative answer 3.64. Yeah. So our IRR, which is our K, A, and PVA, NPV A minus NPV B times B minus A. Now, so over here is going to be 4%, 2.47, 2.47 plus 3.64 times 5. That will give you 4.4%. Check it. So that will be your cost of debt, KD. Next, let's move on into calculate the market value. We need a market value to calculate WACC. Let's start with the equity first. Equity, which is your ordinary shares. Now we already have our market price and we already have our number of what? Shares. Number of shares. Which is, if you go back to the question, we have the number of shares, which is this 10 million, and then we already have a market price 7.5. So we have 7.5 times with 10 million shares, and that will give you how much? That will give you 75 million. Next will be the debt, which is your bond. Now to calculate the market value for debt, if you still remember, the formula is book value, market value times 100 over price, and then you're going to reverse the formula to find the market value, book value over 100 over price. Book value is going to be, let's go back to the question. Book value, look at that, it's 14 million over here. So we're going to take that. $14,100,000, which is your market price is 107.14. That will give you 15 million. So that will be the market value. So end of the day, equity plus the debt E plus D, which is 75 million plus 15 million, that will give you 90 million. Okay, let's start our WACC calculation. Now in this question we have to use the formula. It's not going to be a table method because we only have equity and debt. So our KE, back to the working that we have done, our KE is going to be 10.3% times with the E, it's going to be 75 million over 90 million plus the E plus D is 90 million. Our KD, now no need to minus the tax because we already minus here. Our interest is already post-tax interest, so don't go minus again. So our KD is going to be 4.4% times the D is going to be 15 million over 90 million. Now that will give you 9.32%. So that is our WACC answer for part A. Okay, Now, next. So we already done the part A. Let's move on to the B now. Calculate the cost of equity. Now, over here, they just want the cost of equity, the KE, okay, for the new project, okay. So that's going to be the hex code information comes in now, and of course the fence code as well. We're going to integrate the both. Now, remember, since this is that's why I asked you to highlight this now when we go through the second paragraph. Look at that. Franco plans to invest in a project which is different. Look at that. Again, I'm highlighting this part, different to its existing business operation. Now, when it comes to business operation, that means they are talking about the business risk over here. Okay, business risk. So the business risk is going to be different. Now, when you have such a situation where they have a different operation, which is the businesses is different, now we have to apply the beta and getting knowledge over here. So let me put a note over here first for the part B. Since the investment project of Exco is different to business operations of Fansco, its business risk is different to that existing operation. Okay, that's the note why we have to apply the beta and getting. If you still remember, we have to like break it up and we're going to rejoin back. If you still remember what we did on the last topic number 13, beta and getting. So step 1 will be D gear. We're going to break it up, okay. D gear the equity beta of Exco to sorry to find asset beta. So over here, just want to make another note that our BD is not given, so therefore we have to assume that it is 0. Okay, assume an assumption that we have to make. If you still remember, if the BD is not given, we have to assume that the beta of that is going to be 0. So we're not going to use the long formula to calculate the asset beta. We're going to use the short formula. E plus D 1 minus the tax. Therefore 1.2 times with now go back to the question. Don't forget the equity and the debt that we're going to use is for Hexco. Don't forget Hexco. Okay, so go back to the question. Now look at here. 1.2, that's the equity beta of Exco. That's why I put it at 1.2, and the equity market value is 54, and the debt is going to be 12. So it's going to be 54 plus the 12, but don't forget 1 minus the 20%. So how much is going to be? That should give you 1.02. Check. So again, I'm highlighting the value that you're going to use over here. It's about X score. Don't forget. Step 2. Step 2, we're going to rejoin back. We already break it up, the equity beta into asset beta, and then we're going to join back with the fan score to find what is our new equity beta. In other words, re-gear the asset beta of Xco to find the equity beta of Fansco. Now, so we're going to rejoin back over here. So it's going to be, we're going to find the equity beta. So it's going to be 1.02 times it, and don't forget now, yes, 1.02 comes here, but the information we're going to use over here, it's about Fansco, and we already done our calculation over here. So we're going to use this market value. This is about market value for Fansco. If you remember, we just done it for the WACC. So we're going to use this information, and of course this as well. Okay, now, so 75 and 15, it comes here. $75 plus 15, 1 minus 20% over 75, and what do you get? That will give you 1.18. Check it out. Okay, step 3. Now always our step 3 is, if you still remember on the previous class, this is going to be your part B in this question is actually a very easy big time getting compared to whatever that we had done on the class past equations. The exercise that we had done is way difficult than what we are doing over here right now. So step 3, cost of equity. So that's the actually the required, and of course we're gonna use it the CAPM formula over here. Times with the beta equity, so 4%, 11%, 4%. The beta equity is this, comes over here, 1.18. So what is going to be the answer? That will give you 12.26%. So we're done. That will be the final answer for the part B. Okay. So we are done the part A and part B, and your part C, explain the difference between systematic risk and unsystematic risk in relation to portfolio theory and the capitalized pricing model. So I already typed out the answer for the part C and part D for you guys over here. So this is the answer for the part C. Let me simplify the part C over here. What I taught you previously in the class was unsystematic risk, which is a risk which can be diversified away, but it cannot be diversified 100%, but it can be minimized. Okay, it can be diversified fully, but it can be minimized. While systematic risk, which is cannot be diversified because it's more into external factors, which is, for example, interest rate, tax, economic factors, government factors, and so on. But it comes to unsystematic risk is basically about the internal factors such as like the R&D, labor problem, machinery problem of business operations, and so on. So that's all can be what solved. The problems that uh, occurred internally that can be solved that comes under unsystematic risk, which is the problem that cannot be diversified away, which is not in our hand. It comes under systematic risk. But however, when you want to calculate CAPM, if you still remember, I'm going to explain CAPM only concentrate on systematic risk. That's why we have the beta over there, beta calculation over there. It's only concentrating on the systematic risk because that's the important factor over there. And why it is concentrating on the systematic risk? Because it is assumed that the unsystematic risk is fully diversified away fully. So that's the assumption of the CAPM. Okay, but in the real world, unsystematic risk cannot be fully diversified away. However, but it can be minimized. Okay, so I already put it there in the word over there on your part C, and part D is going to be a bit long. It's about the EMH. So EMH got the weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form. Let me simplify this as well. What is this EMH for? EMH is basically how share price movement and so on, how the share price reflects on the information, in other words. So weak form is basically based on the past information, which reflects the share price. Okay, that's weak form. Semi-strong form is basically past and the current information reflects the share price. Strong form, which is future information. Everyone knows the everything. That means perfect information available, which is uh, not really exists in the real world, just theoretically. Okay, just theoretically, semi-strong form, uh, where everything is you have the perfect information. We does not have a perfect information in real world. Okay, so it's that strong form efficiency. And I already explained what is the significance EMH to financial manager over there. So that will be the answer. Okay, so you can take it down. So I already simplified overall what is the systematic and unsystematic risk and the EMH as well, guys. So this will be the answer for your part C and your part D. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.